Hello and welcome back to another video for 75 Days of Kingdom Hearts. My name's KewlImp, Justin, and another host of names I can't say. Well, not allowed to say. As we've been going through these conversations and these discussion pieces, these theories, one of the things that we wanted to do, or at least I wanted to do, I say we a lot, talking like I'm a multiple person, one of the things I really wanted to do is kind of open people's minds to some of these concepts that aren't just assumed to be true. So shattering some of these preconceptions, shattering some of these assumptions, and that's the big goal here. With that said, let's tackle one of the big boy theories. One of the ones that most people agree that I'm not so sure of anymore. And a lot of these theories begin out that way. I'm not sure anymore of the validity of the original theory when it was first proposed. Which gets me to the Guardian. Now, my last video, I talked about how the Guardian could be the darkness or darkness from Union Cross. But is it really... The question isn't so much if the darkness is the Guardian, because that's an interesting theory by itself. Because if the Guardian is the darkness, then who is it really still? That's what this theory is, this conversation piece is supposed to be about. Who is the Guardian? What is their purpose? What goals do they have? But more importantly, who are they? Now, right now, I don't know exactly who it is. I'm going to be honest, don't know. So, this is all a theory. I think it might not be a human. That was one of the first thoughts that came up to me. It might be a sentient, like a hyper-sentient Heartless. Because we never see them, we only see them basically in the darkness, looking at Maleficent as she talks back to it. Another thought that came to mind is that it is kind of Terra, in that when Xehanort took over his body, he had to go somewhere. And the Guardian is a manifestation of him trying to not so much reach out and hurt others, well, except for DDD, but to protect his own body, because he intends to take it back. And that one was one of the more simple ones, and that's the ones that most people believe, that he doesn't really serve Ansem. It's more of he wants to protect his property, his body, blah, blah, blah. Either way, like I said, this could actually be the darkness from the conversation that Maleficent has in Union Cross. Another option, and this is the reason I say it might be an older creature, it is a third heart. So, at some point or another, and I don't think it's Ericus. I don't think it is. We haven't seen any Keyblade Masters die, so we don't know how their body disintegrates. And that's kind of the thing. As far as we know, Ericus has only instilled into his teachings and his belief, and in the last moment, Terra realizes that, he's been an ass. And that's the reason he's crying. Because he just lost the only thing he's had that's been close to a father. Or at least they never mentioned his real father, but we know that Ericus treats him as if he was a child, his own child. Now, with that said, I think the Guardian, like I said, I don't think the Guardian is Terra's heart. I don't think it is. I don't think he would protect Ansem like that, knowing who Ansem was and that he was Xehanort's Heartless. The only reason I would think that that would be possible is if in a case where he's more interested in keeping Ansem alive, so far as to not bring back Xehanort. Now, I think the Guardian reacts to whoever is quote-unquote in charge. So when Ansem wants him to attack Sora or Riku in Dream Drop Distance, he reacts because he is instructed to. But whenever Riku holds out his Keyblade, he reacts because he's reacting to Terra's and Riku's connection. That seems a little too obvious to be true to me. That is only because it is Terra who's actually the Guardian. And that's one of the reasons I definitely question this one. Now that means that an entity could influence the Guardian, but not fully control it. And that's why I bring up the Dream Drop Distance. That's why I bring up those specific cases, because those are rather specific. Wow, I'm actually kind of working from a script. I need to put it up there instead of on a piece of paper, but I like it on paper, know what I mean? Although it does protect Ansem, I don't think it serves him. We don't see him actually use it like that very often, and it seems that goals are aligned under those influences. Now, we don't know what the Guardian's goals are, but it seems like this is a case where, yes, indeed, we've got a situation where we've got a badass who just doesn't want... He's going to do what he's going to do. And that's only because Ansem staying alive is for his best interest. Sorry. Man, it's been a day. I've tried recording this video so many times. Although Sora did beat Ansem, it knows how time truly works, or it might not even be bound by time, which is why it could go back to Union Cross and come back, knowing that he's going to be able to reattach to Ansem in each and every timeline. What we don't see is Xemnas, Xehanort, or a young Xehanort summon him, which kind of indicates that it's attached to Ansem, not anyone else. Now, granted, whenever Xehanort dies and he separates into the Heartless and the Nobody, there were two hearts there, and Xehanort's and Terra's, but when they separated, that doesn't mean that the heart is necessarily forced out of its body or it takes a grotesque shape, because we haven't really seen grotesque shapes that often. The other question that's been coming up is, why not a Darkling then? If he falls ways to the darkness, why isn't he a Darkling or something like that? I think Masters, people with the levels of Masters, don't actually suffer those type of fates, that becoming a Darkling is not a thing that they do. I think they become immensely powerful Heartless and immensely powerful Nobodies. Twilight, Thorn, and Darkseid are a good example. Those will probably be examples of lower level Keyblade, or high level Keyblade wielders, low level Keyblade masters. But with that said, that's more or less the theory on a nutshell, that he's not Terra's heart, I don't think. I think he might be just an eldritch creature who attached onto Ansem, seeing, knowing that there's a book of prophecy, hearing that fate is set in stone, and decided just to ride the courses of time. And since he has no real body to call his own, he can just time travel wherever he wants to. But with that said, I'm going to say good night, good evening, and goodbye. Or good morning, good afternoon, good night. And we're going to go ahead and say joy be to you all. And wow, I can't seem to focus this afternoon. Other than that, I do want to go ahead and do my normal thing where I say, hey, I got a Patreon. Hey, follow me on Twitch and subscribe to me there. Hey, I've got you like, comment, subscribe on my YouTube page, because it helps me out. I am not putting a lot of energy into those. However, I do want to say any donations through Patreon for like the first $650 will be going to a PlayStation 4 Pro. It will be going to a capture card That way I can save data, save the recordings, and put them into a video, because I will be making more Kingdom Hearts 3 content after the game comes out. So, good night, good morning, good afternoon, and may joy be to you all.